Millions and billions of funds every year get stolen or hacked because people don't know how they should or how they actually store their cryptocurrencies. In this video, I will give you a stupid simple analogy how you can store your cryptocurrencies and what kind of security issues you're probably facing. So to start off with the analogy, I'm sure you already saw one of these movies where they press a red button or they have to type in a code and press a red button and the missile starts and it shoots somewhere. So there are three types of storing mechanisms we're talking about in this video. One is the centralized storing. So basically you take your funds, you put it on Coinbase, Binance or whatever. Second one is having a hot wallet, having a MetaMask wallet, for example, but without using such a little device. And the third one is basically using such a device. So to start off with, the first one is basically taking that red button and give it to someone else. Let's call him Sam and tell him, don't do anything with it. Probably someone need it. I just need it back then. The second one is actually having that button right next to you. So it's basically safe, but your password is generated online. So it's probably stored in WhatsApp, or you had to download it and you had to print it out and then you deleted it. But with these kind of security measurements on the internet and on your devices, it's always a kind of a question, right? So you're never 100% sure. And when it comes to launching missiles, you want to be 100% sure. And the third one is actually using such a little thing. So what this basically is, you have that red button next to you and the password to that red button you thought of. So you just memorize it. So no one ever heard, saw, you never wrote it down anywhere. You just have it in your mind. This is obviously the most secure one, because the only one which can really attempt to launch a missile is actually you. So when you store your cryptocurrencies on a centralized exchange, you give the possibility to move, sell, trade, whatever, lose also the cryptocurrencies to person X. Let's call him again Sam. When you think of hot wallets, or when we think of hot wallets, you have the key generated online. So even though the wallet is basically decentralized, the key is always kind of centralized, because you had to generate it on your MacBook or on just the device you use. And as I mentioned, with the internet, it's always kind of a thing. It was online somewhere. And also, if someone finds out your password, for example, if I hack into your MacBook and I find out your MetaMask password because you also stored it somewhere else, it's gone. Everything is gone. Now, with the third method, the key, which is never generated online. So you can hack my MacBook, you will never get the key because this one is generated and stored within this little thing. Obviously, I can also write it down. So I also wrote it, for example, on a piece of paper, and this piece of paper is stored somewhere else. So in case I lose this one, I still have the piece of paper. Another good thing with this little device is that you always have to verify the transactions. For example, if I plug this in now and someone hacks me and wants to do a transaction, I can always block it technically, because I always have to confirm or deny the transactions here. So in all three examples, we have two basic risks: that someone just hacks into my device and triggers transactions. And the second one is that someone has access to my seed phrase. So these 24 words. So in the first example, I give my complete seed phrase away, right? And also I give this centralized party the opportunity to send, withdraw, do whatever they like. I just have to trust them. In the second example, I keep the seed phrase by myself, even though it was online at one point of time. But still, if someone hacks into my MacBook, he can trigger transactions and I can do nothing about it, because if he takes over my MacBook, it's gone. In the third example, the seed phrase is generated offline, so it was never on the internet. So it's way harder to really get access to it. Also, if someone takes over my MacBook, for example, and wants to trigger transactions, I still have to plug that in and verify the transaction manually on here. Alright, so we looked at all of these different opportunities, and I think we can all agree that this one is the most secure one. So I highly recommend everyone to use such a ledger or a similar hardware wallet. It's way easier than most of you think. It's super easy to set up. Everything is guided perfectly, so you don't have to be scared that you do anything wrong. You just have to follow the setup guide. With that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you learned something about storing your cryptocurrencies, and I wish you a very nice rest of your day. Bye-bye.